This is Hunt Nebraska, the official podcast for insight into Nebraska's hunting and shooting sports community. Be sure to give us a follow on Facebook, our space for sharing stories, information, tips, and techniques. Now, Hunt Nebraska.
Welcome into the Hunt Nebraska podcast. We're excited to get together to kind of catch up a little bit and see how everyone's doing today in the cabin. I learned I don't do the best with introductions at the beginning of the podcast, and I need to get better at it. So I'm going to make sure I get it right out of the way this time here, so that way we cover it and give myself a pat on the back. So I'm like, hey, I did it this time. But anyways, we have Megan Price, our shooting, sports, and hunting outreach coordinator, or shooting and hunting outreach coordinator.
Oh, we're going to have to take two on that one.
Take
there,
two.
Kyle.
Hunting and shooting sports outreach coordinator. You got all the words in there. It is shooting sports, yeah.
It is shooting sports. Okay. Yeah. I was making sure.
Yeah, you got it. You did it in a reverse order than I usually would say it, but technicalities, you know. I do hunting and then shooting sports because I would say hunting is probably more my favorite than the shooting sports.
Oh, we get to prioritize our titles based on what we like.
Yeah, my favorite is hunting. For me personally, like if I was going to be the one doing it, I would prefer to go hunt than to go to an archery tournament. So for the programs themselves that I coordinate, I don't know if I could pick a favorite program. So
okay,
yeah, that's how I decide.
So, all right, well, Rachel, I'll let you. So we have Rachel Carlson, and I will say the shooting range and shooting sports coordinator.
That's
for
correct.
Nebraska. But I'll let you decide. Do you want shooting range or shooting sports first?
Well, so we've shortened it. So it's shooting range / sports is the official one.
Ooh, okay. So we got got rid of a word.
We tried to get rid of a word, so it was a little shorter.
Yep.
Man, I like both of them. So, I mean, you don't have any shooting sports if you don't have a shooting range. So
True.
It's really hard to pick. I think we're going to leave it like it is.
All right.
Okay.
Very good. And then I'm Kyle Gasson, the hunter education coordinator for the states. I don't get to go the either or. Now, you could go into there.
Hunting, education. Which one's your favorite?
That's still even there is a tough decision. Because, I mean, the whole reason I got in this role is I want to have impact on future generations, and I care a lot about that. So that's the education part. Mm-hmm. But obviously, I'm not a teacher at heart, to where I would rather, if I had the choice, if I had to just be teaching or just hunting, I'll probably go just hunting, even though I care more about the big impact that hunter education has.
Well, I don't think
one's a hobby and one's a
They
profession.
don't have positions where you just get paid to hunt, so then
you're
no,
gonna have
no,
to
they don't.
Yeah, but you could be education of hunters coordinator. So
that's really
well. Now I could
there.
go in a little bit deeper, and there's two programs for hunter ed. There's the firearm hunter education program and the bow hunter ed.
Okay,
program.
so.
Oh, don't make me do this because I have instructors here. They're gonna be
just for you, Kyle. Would you rather go bow hunting, or would you rather hunt with a firearm of either?
My background leans me towards firearm.
Okay.
Not saying one's better than the other. Just
I'm
further in there.
We're not
we
saying
need
one's
both,
better.
and we're doing things to involve both in everything we do. So.
Yep.
very true.
But we all have a favorite for ourselves, I think.
Yes.
So I have to.
You're going to be the mom with the favorite kid too, aren't you?
Yeah. Okay. All the moms out there, you have favorites. I know you do, because they're people. Like I have favorite people, and there's people I'm like, I don't get along with that person. So to say that you don't have a favorite child, yes, I know you love them all, but like, you don't love them all exactly the same. Like here's the other thing in my family that we have decided. If you don't know who the favorite child is, you're the favorite. Okay. So my family, I know who the favorite child is. It is not me. Okay. It's my brother. So, or my sister, depending on the parent, actually. They each have a favorite.
And you're just left out there and
yeah. Because I don't know why. I think it's just I'm very different, I would say, than both my siblings. My sister went into something that's very similar to my mom's career. My brother, same thing. So, a nurse and someone in business, like hunting and shooting sports, like it just doesn't, we don't have as much to talk about, I guess.
Get that.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah. Kyle, are you the favorite?
So I think I'm going to that sign because I have 3 siblings.
Uh-huh.
I'm the one that provides my mom now as a grandma.
Oh.
And so since I have the grandkids, I think I'm the de facto favorite because of that. Mm-hmm. Now, there's other aspects of it too where I know, like I say, no hobbies and that. My mom's big into showing dogs. And one of my brothers also shows dogs and breed dogs that will go to a lot of shows with her. And they do a lot of things together. So there's a little bit of that. I'm like, if I didn't have the kids, I don't know if I would be.
Okay. So maybe it can change.
I think, you know.
Well, that's good to know. That's
yeah.
good to know.
Yeah. So maybe I can change things. But so growing up, would you say that you were the favorite?
The youngest kid's the favorite.
See?
At least that's how we all saw it. He got spoiled pretty well there.
Yeah. I think that's often
there is a favorite. Okay,
and often an older kid perception is that the youngest one is the favorite.
Yeah, my brother, it's just the favorite. I think because he's the only boy. I don't know, honestly. And he was like good at everything. Like, you know, you run into these people that's like, they do this and they're great at it. And they try something else and they're still great at it. And I'm over here like, I can't play sports with a ball. Too uncoordinated for that. Running, I'm not a runner. I was not built like a runner. That's not me. Like, my brother, music, he could play an instrument. I am not the musical person. Like, come to find out, I'm good at anything that has to do with like outdoorsy stuff. When I just have to sit in the outdoors, I'm good at that.
There you go.
So, Rach, who's the favorite in your family?
Well, I was going with the younger sibling.
You're the youngest sibling?
Probably, yeah. Not me.
So are you the youngest?
Not me. No, Rachel's classic oldest.
She definitely has that
Yes.
first child type syndrome coming on.
And me.
I give off those vibes. I'll admit that, yeah.
Especially, like, I would say oldest girl is very different, too, than oldest boy. Like, if you're the oldest sibling and you're a boy, it's totally different, in my opinion, than being the oldest girl.
So you both know what? Not that goes to the next question. Do you guys know where I'm at in the pecking order? I have 3 brothers. There's just 4, all boys. I'm the 4th. Where do you think I would sit based on my personality?
I think you're middle, aren't you?
Are you 2?
Yeah, middle. Because there's 3 of you?
Yep. 4 of us.
4 of you. You're in the middle, but more towards the older, I think.
I'm the 3rd.
Oh.
So the 2 older brothers, and then
I knew
there's
you were
a
in the
age
middle,
gap
though.
than us, and then I have a younger brother. Well, I gave you the hint with having a younger brother. So.
Yeah. Well, and I know you've talked about your siblings from time to time. So
I've thought about bringing them in. I've done radio and stuff with a couple of them there. The one used to be with Game and Park.
They need to watch this episode so that the youngest can find out he's the favorite. He probably, like I said, he already knows.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Comment down below. Who is the favorite child in your family? We need to know. Moms, you stay out of the comments. We know there's a favorite.
There might be a heart on one comment and a like on the other one from the mom to kind of emphasize which one it is.
The subtle hints.
Yeah, the moms can go in and agree with the assessment.
It's going to start a fight on
I
page.
am. Yeah. We need some controversy.
Controversy?
I can't.
Sorry, I wasn't going to say it, but then you brought it back up.
There's some words that you feel really confident saying, and then you say, and you're like, that didn't
Go right.
it didn't come out right. So
don't worry, you'll be forever on podcast.
Yep, it'll be. Yep.
So, like a conversation we just had here, do you think have you ever had those type of conversations when you've been in a blind with somebody else, or do you ever go down rabbit holes and go hunting?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, if I'm hunting with someone, otherwise having a conversation with myself is not as exciting.
Yeah, well, that's why we all have dogs, right? Or
Yeah.
a cat to have somebody there to talk to.
Yeah, I take my cat hunting. I'm sure that'll work out super good.
My cat tried stalking a turkey one time, and I'm just like, cat, you're going to lose.
Maybe not.
There was a big old tom she was getting pretty close to. That was in our front yard. But yeah. It's like,
Confidence is like 80% of that fight.
Cats usually have that too.
Yes, they do.
yeah, she was full on stalk
Yep.
mode and creeping through the grass, trying to get nice and close so the turkey could care less.
Yeah.
But anyway, so when you get out there hunting, what else do you do to pass the time? Obviously, if you have somebody there, you can always talk.
Depending
and
on who it is, I would say that sometimes I've hunted with my husband and he's not a chatty Cathy, so that's not as effective. Now, hunting with Rachel, yeah, we could talk all day. Hunting with Shelby, her and I, we could talk the whole time.
And sometimes
not
it's
chatty.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a problem because you're sitting there trying to be quiet and you're like, but I need to tell you about this.
Yeah, that's why dove hunting was so fun because we could just sit there and talk. I was like, I can get on board with this.
Very good. So, any other activities?
Well, so, I mean, if I'm alone and I'm just sitting there waiting, usually I'll check my phone every once in a while. something to do, trying to listen for things. If I see a bird, I'll look up a bird. Like, now I know what that bird is for the next 2 weeks, and then I'll forget what that bird is.
You practice your bird ID.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then sometimes, I mean, when I'm by myself, I haven't had nearly as many trouble with like bugs getting in the blind. But I'll like eject spiders and stuff like that and keep stuff from crawling on me because you're sitting there and all sorts of critters will enter the fray. Mm-hmm. And if I'm with it, so last time I was out in a blind with somebody, her comment was, "Why do you keep saving the spiders?" Because we were in a patch of weeds and there were just spiders coming in everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so every once in a while I'd see one crawling up the wall and I'd take it and I'd just kind of put it out the window. And she's like, "Why do you keep saving those?" I was like, "Well, we're in their territory. I mean, they didn't ask us to be here. So we'll make as little of an impact on this area as we can and not kill the wildlife."
There you go.
Awesome.
I'm sure the spiders appreciate just being bounced out.
They don't care. They're bugs.
Well, they would probably
know no difference.
Prefer that to death. So
I think most things would be rather just be,
Yeah.
toss me out the window than just end me there.
yeah, I agree.
So no Candy Crush or other video games or apps or video apps or game apps or anything like that on the phone?
I mean, no, not usually.
I have a hot take. Keep going.
I feel like games like take too much of your attention if you're doing that. But I will sit there and I will start thinking about, like, if I'm sitting in a spot and nothing's coming in, I'll start looking up alternate hunting strategies. I'm like, what time of day should I be here? Should I be here on this line? What is an ideal setup for turkey? Where should I be sitting? And then I'll start reading a bunch of articles. That's usually what I'll end up doing. So I'm planning my next hunt while I'm sitting in the blind.
Yeah, I like that. My hot take is that I think that playing games on your phone, and this is a hot take, is a dude thing. I think it's a guy thing. My husband will sit on his phone and play his little phone games the entire time we sit out there, which is why we don't do a lot of the talking. It's distracting from his game. But and I need to make him watch this now because this is funny. But no, I would say that my things are like napping.
That's a good one too.
Get a good nap in.
Very true.
Journaling. I do a little journaling just because, like, what I'm seeing, how the day was, especially when we're on like bigger hunts in other states, which is kind of fun. So I can kind of look back and remember like what was going on and what my mindset was. But also, I just am looking for other critters. You'd be amazed at like all the stuff that you can find and see while you're just sitting. I might be waiting on a bear, but I saw like a mouse and some elk and like all sorts of a moose maybe, things like that. So those are my main go-tos. Napping is definitely at the top.
I have a bad habit of not turning off my work brain whenever I'm at. So there may have been times where I'm like sitting there and I start thinking about like, one has been podcast ideas keep coming through my mind. And I think of something. I like email myself a podcast. Hey, we should talk about this. As I'm sitting out here. Oh, I didn't even think about talking about this about hunting. So send it off, or had an idea of I'm out hunting and it's like, oh, this could be a cool incentive for our instructors to have while they're, as a thank you for them for helping teach the class. 'Cause they're all volunteers. They don't get paid, but we try to at least give an incentive for them. Something I'm using or something that I wish I had at the time I'm out, like, oh, I wish I would have this while I'm out here hunting. Well, I think they would take that too. So,
and I think that goes into that's just a particular example of you're sitting out there in the blind in nature and you're not as distracted by other people coming through that you're talking to or other things going on. And so your mind can kind of just work through some of the background things it's been working on. And that's part of being in nature and kind of finding some peace is letting your brain just run out its things that it needs to take care of while you're sitting out there.
But then it goes in the habit of, oh, I got to hurry up and send this to me so I don't forget about it after the hunt gets done.
It's way easier to do it while you're hunting than if you're like in the shower when all those like things occur to you and you're like, can't write it down.
I'd say that's, blind thoughts are very similar to hashtag shower thoughts.
Yeah, they are. They are. Or like when you're driving somewhere and you think of things and you're like, I need to like, voice memo myself or something so I can remember. But some of those like kind of mindless things, that's when you think of all the important stuff.
Yes.
All the good ideas. So is this podcast one of those like podcast ideas that occurred to you? You're like, I need more stuff to do. We should do a podcast where we talk about what we do while we're hunting. I was like, I need ideas.
To be honest, it was the inverse of that actually.
Oh.
It was, because I sent out to you as like, I know we do a lot of great, tips and tricks and outlooks on the season and all that. I was like, let's go back and try to, what do we actually, what was some of the enjoyment we have with hunting and stuff. And part of it did pop up in my mind of like, hunting games and that. And we've done a, would you rather case in the past and something along those lines. I'm like, well, we should look into doing those. And I know we had kind of a brainstorming session the other day where we wrote down a bunch of different other ideas of what we could do or challenges of ways to present the podcast. And as I was thinking, like, well, how do I bring this all together? I'm like, oh, well, to be honest, it's the same conversations we have in the blind.
Yeah.
On that, so where you get into that, or even just shower thoughts, or you get into a deep conversation like on a walk with somebody, and then it gets into maybe some work related stuff. Maybe it's some kind of fodder for the future, or it gets into let's just talk about something fun or hypothetical.
Yes.
So I know you guys have come back from a walk and start asking me a bunch of hypothetical questions like, what state do you want to visit the most? Well, I haven't thought about it at all. And then we start talking and I'm like, oh, okay, that one. So
yeah, because I think it's fun to ask people kind of like, what superpower would you have? Like, when would you want to have? Like, those questions can tell you a lot about a person and like maybe some of their like deep motivations as a person. So I always think it's interesting to hear people's answers for those.
Well, that's great because I'm going to ask you some questions,
good.
but they're going to be hunting related. So I got a list of a few questions here, and I'll do the sound effects here.
Oh boy,
the
he has
papers.
real paper.
I
with
have
him.
real paper because I didn't want to be looking at my phone the entire time. Less screen time.
Less screen time.
But I made up some.
You'll make up for it when you're in the blind playing your game.
Exactly. To be honest,
Yeah,
I don't.
okay.
So I really don't get into when I'm in the blind. I don't get into games.
Not phone games.
Now, depending on where I'm at, and during hunting season, I listen to a lot of podcasts because I'm also a football fan. And there's some hunting stuff going on, so there's a lot kind of going on that I like to listen to.
Okay.
And so I'll put one earbud in.
Yeah.
And I'll be usually listen to some sort of podcast while I'm out there, and then also I have the quick, the nice, wireless ones where I just a quick tap and it turns it off, so I can if there's something I'm thinking. And now headphones are even getting fancy, where has the be aware setting, so it really picks up on any noise. It amplifies it.
I didn't know about that.
So,
That's cool.
So I have noise canceling and then be aware, or just normal. So some just different things I was learning. So that's my go-to is those. That kind of sometimes I do just want to be like, I just need to be away from work and I don't want to think about anything that related. And so football is one of my escapes to, even though I never played, I just love watching Husker football and love to follow along maybe my fantasy football team, which I guess you call it a game. So I guess that is technically a game.
A game. Guys, something about like men in games.
Competition.
I don't know what that's a topic for maybe a different day.
Different day, and I don't know if I'll be in that conversation.
I don't understand. I could not occupy myself with like just a game on my phone. They're so redundant. I find them to be really redundant.
Oh yeah.
I think that's maybe what they like
part
about
of the piece of it, I think. So
it has to do with the nothing box too. Like, have you ever heard the guys can just like think about nothing? Like, think it has to do something with that. Is their brain is just satisfied by just like nothing. Mine is not. So
men have boxes. Women are just connected to web for their brains.
It's like a ball of wire.
So,
okay.
All right. Well, we'll stop talking about the complexes between men and women and hunting, blind, games, and activity. But we're just going to do a little bit of a fun activity here. It's a mix of would you rather and this or that. So it might be, since we were kind of getting that conversation earlier, what the actual difference is. And I think, Megan, you explained it earlier before we started recording here what it was.
Yeah, I think would you rather is more of like a sentence or two comparison. Like, would you rather eat ketchup for a whole year or would you rather have to eat mustard for a whole year? Or as compared to ketchup versus mustard.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of how I would describe it.
These are all going to be more along the lines of the would you rather type phrase, more the way I set it up. But it might be something as simple as just this or that. So I have some little card ones in here. So you're going to have to, that chooses which one you're going to answer first.
Okay.
So is it a number? And
then there's a number and then it'll be it. So.
All right. Lucky number 13.
13. So, hunt at sunrise or sunset? That's all the context I'm giving you.
Oh, no, that's fine. If I can get my butt out there, I'd rather hunt at sunrise. More likely to hunt at sunset.
Sunrise. Before I get into your reasoning, Megan.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'd probably say sunrise. Yeah.
I'm a sunrise as well.
Yeah.
I kind of want to say sunset just to be contrarian.
Something about seeing everything wake up is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and then you don't have to pack up your stuff as it's getting dark and get out of there.
And if you harvest something, you're not doing everything in the dark.
Yes.
So.
And the other part too is depending on your day. If you do harvest something kind of right away, you get the rest of the day to still have that day, or even if you're going hunting just for 2 hours either way.
Yep.
You still have your day to go, and I'm okay with waking up early and getting an early start to my day.
I can't sleep anyways, so yeah, I'd rather just get up and start hunting.
However, those sunsets are pretty,
Yes.
especially the late fall sunsets. But
They are gorgeous, but you don't have to be out hunting to enjoy them necessarily.
I'd rather just do both, so I get like double opportunity.
you can't do that. You have to choose one.
I know, that's why I chose sunrise.
All right. Your turn, Megan.
All right, give me the hat. Let's see here. So I draw, but you guys have to answer too.
Everyone's supposed to answer, but you have to answer first, and then give
11.
yours.
Oh, I got to answer first.
Yep.
I see.
Would you rather shoot one banded goose and not see anything else the rest of the hunt, or get a limit of geese with no bands?
Banded goose.
Banded goose.
I'd rather get a limit.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But you need to explain
My why?
your why.
There's a few things. Number one, I've never waterfowl hunted, so the idea of like having the band is really cool to me. I'm more of like, I wouldn't say trophy hunter, but I like to have things to remember hunts by. So I would say the bands appeal to me because then you have that thing that like reminds you of that hunt. That's why I like, even if I didn't, when I harvest an animal, I like to have something to remember that animal, even if it's not like a giant whatever.
Not a big mount or anything like that. Just something.
Even just like the feathers of a bird or the antlers from a deer, even if it wasn't a huge deer, just something to remember the hunt. I like having that something.
I know. And mine is, might be part of my impatience, but if I'm sitting out there hunting, waiting, you just never see any other birds or anything else after one there. It's kind of discouraging. I just love the opportunity at least to see a bunch of wildlife. And I should have just mentioned you. Opportunity might have been another word to add in there. An opportunity to get a limit. That's not actually. I don't care necessarily about the shooting. All the geese. Limit of geese. I just care that they keep coming in. They keep decoying. They keep working. That you stay active the whole time.
Rage.
And I'm probably just over planning it in that I haven't waterfowl hunted before either. And so I'm picturing like cleaning one goose versus like a whole limit of geese.
Yep.
Like at one with a band, that's super cool. Let's just go with that for our first time out. All
There you go.
There you go.
right, Kyle, I think that's your turn now.
Cool. I got to read my own question
Yes,
to
you do.
myself. All
Yeah.
right. We have number. Pretty sure that's a 9. We'll go with 9. I should have put a line underneath 9 and 6. That was my
Oh,
problem.
yeah.
2020 hindsight.
Would you rather hunt doves or quail? And my answer would be quail.
I haven't hunted quail, so this is kind of a hard pick. I'd like to try quail hunting, so we're going to go with quail hunting.
Yeah, I would definitely say quail as well. It's more physical. Like sitting and hunting is difficult for me. I'd rather be up and moving around. So I would definitely say quail.
Yep. And mine is, I'm the big, being an upland hunter, watching the dog work and walking through the field. That's my big issue on that one. I mean, still same, both are covey animals, but it's just nice to see that one's, working through the field and getting the dog to go on point and flush and retrieve. You still get retrieve on the doves, but just, I like the active aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the doves. Just I'd rather go out when it's a little cooler and you're not sitting there in the sunshine.
Another
getting
good point.
Carried off by mosquitoes.
Yeah.
No kidding.
All right, Rachel, you're up again.
All right, let's see what we got. Oh, we're losing one. Put that back in there.
Going overboard.
15.
15. Okay, this is a dog question. Would you rather go upland hunting without a dog or waterfowl hunting without a dog?
Those both sound really rough.
Which one are you willing to go pretty much all by not necessarily by yourself, but without a dog doing?
So I'm gonna we're gonna talk through the decision process first before I just give an answer, because so for the quail, you're gonna have a very hard time finding them without the dog in the grass, depending on where you're hunting at. Mm-hmm. With waterfowl, you're probably gonna be trudging through some wet areas to try and get those birds. So I'd say I'd rather probably go pick a spot where you can quail hunt and maybe see something. So we're gonna go with quail hunt without a dog versus the waterfowl.
I would say waterfowl without a dog because my dog is not trained for waterfowl. So when I do waterfowl hunt, I'm going to have to locate someone that has a dog if I want that niceness of having the dog go get the bird. So,
yeah. And mine would be, I would rather go waterfowl.
Yeah.
Hunt without the dog. Just because, one, I love when I'm out there hunting, the dog just sits there beside me for a waterfowl hunts and then go gets the birds. And yes, it saves me from walking out into the pond, marsh. And I've only hunted a couple spots where, it's so deep where you need a kayak or something there to go retrieve. So there's that aspect. If you don't have anything, you can be having to, get in a boat to go retrieve. But yeah, it's definitely, I know I've shot plenty of pheasants and quail without a dog as well. And I've shot plenty of ducks without a dog as well. So either one you can do, but preference, I want to watch that dog work as I walk.
Very cool.
All right, my turn here. Let's see. Oh, geez. 12.
We're getting all the high numbers right away. Okay.
I didn't mix these.
I didn't either.
Obviously.
Would you rather shoot the biggest deer you've ever seen but not see another deer for 5 years or guarantee to get a doe each year?
That's you. Or no. You picked that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's really hard. So the biggest deer repeat it.
Yep. Would you rather shoot the biggest deer you've ever seen but not see another deer for the next 5 years while hunting, or guarantee to get a doe each year for those 5 years?
That's really hard. I'm trying to think of if it was record breaking, once in a lifetime deer, I think I would probably rather have that buck than have 5 does, because I know my husband will be on doe patrol. So he'll get the does we need. I'll take the giant buck, and then I have bragging rights. So
you have bragging rights. But then you have that other aspect of you haven't got a deer in 5 years.
I know, but like I said, I can still hunt, right?
Yeah, you can still hunt. You just won't see anything.
I don't have to see stuff to have fun hunting.
Very good.
For me, the harder it is to get the thing, the more satisfactory it is when I have the thing. And if I had those 5 years, prior to the giant buck, even better. Way more worth it.
Very good.
That's how my brain works. I don't know. I'm goofy.
I mean, it's all preference. It's all personal preference. Yep. So, you don't have to justify it to us.
No.
Justifying it to them who are going to judge me. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, there's the fun part about it. There's no wrong or right answer.
Yes.
With it.
Yeah, I think I'd go with the does.
The does?
Yep.
Yeah, and this goes back to a similar question I had with the banded and
Yep.
the limit. I would rather kind of go with the does as well. Just opportunity watching deer run around and be able to take that chance. So,
okay,
that's what I put meat in the freezer. Mm-hmm. There you go.
We all have different motivations.
Yep. And if you want to know more about motivations and what ours are, we did a motivation podcast a while back.
Yes, we did.
We did. And if you watched it, you would then rewatch this and be like, oh.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah,
yes.
Literally.
Could almost predict our answers.
You probably could.
All right, Kyle, what you got?
Number 8. Would you rather hunt from a tree stand or ground blind? I wrote the question. I didn't even think about what my answer would be on this one. Because again, I just leave it I try to leave them open for interpretation, but I enjoy hunting out of a tree stand, so I'm going to say tree stand.
Sounds like fun. I haven't hunted out of tree stands, so ground blind.
There you go. I would definitely say tree stand too. I think it's just kind of fun to switch it up and get a different kind of perspective on the stuff you're hunting.
And that's what it is. It's just being up above. A lot of places I hunt have, the weeds get nice and 6 foot tall, so even in a ground blind you have just limited alleys. But no, sending up.
Spiders. There's spiders everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of spiders either. It's fine.
So you're not saving
Well,
them and tossing them out.
I'm probably not the. I don't know if we call it a humanitarian. I'm trying to think of the right word.
You're not the. Yeah. What would that be?
Goofy tree hugger.
Entomologist. Is that it?
I don't know.
But yeah. So, but yes, mine would be tree stand, just because that's also, I think, when I think of when I go back to hunting and seeing the best sunsets and some of my favorite hunts have all typically come from that tree stand perspective up above of just seeing the landscape, how the sunset comes in, able to probably see a deer that I know I wouldn't have seen in a ground blind if I was at the exact same spot that was about 300 yards away.
Yep.
With a doe and its fawn, the fawn doing a little in and out of there, and then you can just tell the mom, she's like, just get back in here and quit running around. Yes. So I would say tree stand.
Good deal.
Awesome.
Whose turn is it now? Rachel?
Gets to be Rachel.
Oh, yay. Oh, I can see the numbers. I probably shouldn't do that.
Because you really know what they're going to mean.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. 2.
Number 2. Would you rather fill a deer tag opening morning, which ends your hunt for the season, or fill your tag at the end of the season when you've been out multiple times on the last day?
If I can guarantee that I fill it on the last day, then the last day. Because I want to be outside. I want to put that effort in and feel like I earned it.
I kind of know your answer.
Yeah, my answer's the same. I always want to feel like I earned it. So.
And I'm on that same path of make it last now within reason. Obviously, I'll tag in something along this line. Do you ever change what you're going after, like what you're willing to shoot, based on the time of the season? Opening morning, you're gonna be a lot more picky.
I'm sure most people
than
do.
At the end of the season, you're like anything that's moving for some. Not necessarily you're that extreme, but do you reduce your?
I try
level?
not to. I really try. I really try not to. And because I can hear my husband saying, in the great words of Steve Ranella, which is like, don't pass up something on the first day that you'd be happy to have on the last day.
Exactly.
I think that's it's close enough to his direct quote. And so Blaine always reminds me of that. Like, if you would shoot it on the last day, you should shoot it now because you may not have that opportunity. So it's like, it's hard because you don't want to go without, because like the meat is a really important aspect of it. So yeah, I try not to, but I think we're all guilty of it from time to time.
I haven't had, either I've had something or I've had nothing. So I've really never had the chance to be that choosy to pass something up. So I don't think I would.
Yeah.
No, and I developed a much better understanding of that the more I hunt, to trust myself on it and to make a better judgment even on, especially when you get those first year deer. I'm going to go back to deer on that one of just seeing them. And you're like, they look kind of small. Are they big enough? Are they not? Type of that. And then passing it. Then like, well, would I have shot it at the last day? And I still go back like, no, I want something larger than Henry to shoot.
Yeah.
But very good. Megan.
My turn. Okay. 3.
Number 3. Would you rather see a bunch of ducks flying, but only get one bird the entire day, or shoot 3 birds right away, but don't see any more birds?
I think the second one, which was shoot 3 birds and then not see. Yeah, probably that one. I don't know why, but that's what I'm going to go with.
Okay. Say that again.
Would you rather see a bunch of birds flying, but only be able to shoot one, not saying you miss the other ones or whatever else, but you only get one? Or would you rather shoot 3 birds right away, but never see any other birds?
Probably the first one. Just being out there seeing birds. I don't need to get a bunch of birds.
And
Again, more work.
I'm going to be out there. I just don't know. I'm not going to see more birds.
Yep.
Kyle?
And then mine would be give me a bunch of birds and seeing them work. I feel like I had a theme when I was writing all these.
I guess.
So, yeah, it was kind of similar to the deer question. All right, what do we got next?
Number 4. Oh, okay. This is a fun one. Would you rather hunt during teal season and only see large ducks, so you can't shoot them, or would you rather hunt the antlerless deer season and only see bucks, antler deer?
Oh.
I'm going to go with the deer.
Okay.
want me to explain it now? Or
Yeah, go ahead.
That also helps me a little bit. Duck ID can be tricky to an extent. And just if I know, sometimes I don't want to play that game because I already had to make that decision this season of I saw 2 ducks get up off the water during teal season, and I'm like, they look pretty big. I'm not shooting them, and just because they got up off a ways from me, and they came back around. And I was wrong. They were teal after all when they came back around. But my first glance, that was the first ducks I saw that day. I'm like, those look a little bit bigger than I thought they should be. So I'll go with more for that decision. But then also, if I get to see bucks walking around anyways, I'm going to enjoy that quite a bit. Even though if I can't shoot them, because it's just like, well, no one can shoot them at this point because it's late season. Any other thoughts for you guys?
Yeah, I think I'd rather see the bucks. I just kind of like being out in that environment a little bit more than necessarily sitting next to the water, at least for me.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to say bucks too, because I know they'll be there next year. And I know that like there's obviously a good population if there's quite a few bucks. Especially if they're big, then I'm like, yeah, no one can shoot them. So I just know I need to start getting my bow out and practicing for the next year.
Start getting Onyx out and marking where they're
Yeah,
at.
exactly. Drop some pins. Yep, exactly.
I'm looking at you, buddy. I've got
Scouting
an eye
for
on
next
you.
year.
Yep.
All right. Back to me.
Yep.
So
All right. What do we got? We've got number 1.
Number 1. Would you rather hunt deer in September or late December?
Late December. Because it's hot. Layer up. Be fine.
I agree. Yes, I don't like warm weather, so I would much prefer the really cold to the hot. And the bugs aren't there in the winter, so
It's a true point on that one. I'm going to say early season for one reason. Chance to get a velvet buck.
Oh.
It would be cool to get that. Now, every season going, I mean, I feel like one of those two, I get it once, then maybe I'm not going to be so anxious to go and try to get one.
That makes sense.
But I do enjoy the colder weather hunting overall.
Yeah.
Especially with hunting, because hunting's just so easy to layer up and stay warm and that, versus when it's hot out, there's just not much you can do.
Yeah, you just
Exactly.
sit there and suffer.
Yeah, and you can like really bundle yourself up and look like a little marshmallow and put the heaters and
You get back to your car and you sip your coffee.
yeah, they make for the best naps in your blind.
This
or
is
just
true,
in.
yes.
I mean, yeah. 14.
14. Would you rather wear all blaze orange or all camouflage for an everyday attire for a year?
I've heard this one
Definitely
before.
camouflage. Then I'm just invisible, so.
Yeah, I don't remember what my answer was last time, so we're going to go with all camo.
Camo. And I just feel like it would be fun to rock a blaze orange suit every day.
Yep, that would be.
I think that we need to get you one then for like the Hunter Ed conference, maybe.
If you go find one and
For
do
the
all the work
social
for
night,
it.
yeah. If we do a social, you got to wear that.
Well, and guess what? I'm willing to
I
rock it even at some
can
national
envision it.
conferences, at like the International Hunter Ed Conference.
Yeah.
I'm fine with maybe showing up for one social that night of blaze orange, or even just get like a top hat that's blaze orange would be kind of cool.
Oh no, the
The
whole
whole
everything. Yeah.
You got to be like a road sign, just absolutely
Just a
glaringly
traffic cone,
orange.
yeah.
no one can look at me. They're just blinded by the orange.
Hi, Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
All right, who are we back to?
I think
I think it's me here.
I don't know. I'm losing track, honestly.
Well,
We're about done with them. We got about one more round, I think, is all.
Okay.
So I got number 10. Would I rather hunt around 20 squirrels playing tag around your tree stand, or in a ground blind that has been sprayed by a skunk? I'm choosing the squirrels because I can't stand smell.
yeah, I think both would be quite frustrating, but the squirrels would be frustrating in a more tolerable manner.
Yeah, I'm going squirrels all the way.
My only thought is, do you get accommodated to the smell, you think, to where you don't notice it? And then the other part too, especially with like archery hunting, does it eliminate your smell?
But does it follow you home? Like, do
Yeah,
you
I feel
then
like that
go
smell
home
clings
smelling
pretty
like
good.
Yeah, because I can't do that.
True.
And like if you're at a distance and you catch a whiff of it, that's one thing. But when you're up close to it, that's a different world right there.
So anti-skunk smell. all around.
And if I'm hunting in a blind that was sprayed by a skunk, that means it was my blind that was sprayed by a skunk, and I have to throw that blind away because there's no getting that smell out.
That would be rough.
That would be rough.
Yeah.
The squirrels, you could maybe, if it's still squirrel season, you might be able to do
There
something
you go.
about those squirrels.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yep.
They may have made a poor life choice.
Yeah.
But 20 of them? I
Well,
don't think we
I don't
realize.
remember
We
what
know
the
how
limit
loud
is on squirrels.
one squirrel is.
True, but I think you just have to like reframe your mindset at that point, and now you're just like on a squirrel viewing trip. And if a deer happens to show up, like great. Otherwise, you are now just like watching squirrels jump around. Have to enjoy that, I guess.
Here's where my headphones come in handy. I'm going to switch it to noise canceling
Yeah.
on the headphones and
Yep.
try to reduce that extra noise because obviously I'm not going to hear any deer moving close to me.
Yeah, it might be time for a nap. It might be what
If you
what
can
that
nap.
choice is.
If I can nap with them running around me, maybe.
Yep.
All right, whichever one that you didn't cross off before, it's either 6
Number
or
6. Would
Yep.
you rather forget your coffee or morning beverage at home or leave without your morning snack or donuts?
oh,
in the morning? Which one could you survive without?
I can survive without the snacks.
Without the snacks?
So we're not allowed to get whichever thing we forgot on our way.
Yeah,
here.
so which one? Would you rather that you go out hunting without your coffee or without your...
You,
I don't know
you
why-
think you have it, but you don't. You realize you don't have
You
it.
show
until
up
you
and
get
like, oh, I
out
thought
to
I
the
had my
blind.
coffee
in
here.
my
It's gone.
brain, I was driving to work without one of those things, and I was gonna stop and get it on the way. No, okay, hunting. Okay, let's see. I never bring coffee with me when I hunt, so I would.
Well, what's your morning beverage? Do you bring anything?
No, I drink coffee, but just like not while I'm out there, because then I have to use the bathroom, and I don't want to deal with that. So I drink it, use the bathroom, then I leave, and I bring snacks. So I would rather go without my coffee. If I can, I'll just drink it before I go. Like I said, that's my.
But what if you forgot to drink it?
That's happened before. And I
It
just
just
have
means
to take
another
some-
nap, right?
Yeah, I'm napping anyway, so an afternoon nap or something. No, I can go without coffee. I'm not as fun when I don't have food.
I'm definitely a food person. Well, one, I don't drink coffee, so usually on cold mornings I'll bring like hot chocolate or something, or tea or something. But no,
So you could go without your morning beverage.
I can
of
go
hot
without. I can go
chocolate.
without my beverage. I can go without. I mean, for me, then it's even water. Like, okay, I'll survive, or I'll
Yeah.
might have to cut it short. But if I go without food, an hour in, I'll be hungry, no matter how much I ate before.
I can power through that, but my issue would be is that I'm one of those people that gets a headache if I don't have my coffee in the morning, and then I just will want to go home.
I drink coffee every morning, but I can go without it. Very strange. I don't know. I just need it to focus at work. If I don't have to focus, I don't need coffee.
There you go.
5.
Okay, this is a shooting preference question. Would you rather a pheasant fly from your left to the right or from your right to the left?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'll put it back. How about for when you were skeet shooting? Which one would you, if you're at the in the middle station, would you rather flying left to right or right to left?
I don't think I got good enough at it that I really had a preference, honestly. You can. I'm trying to remember. I have no idea.
Can I tell you what it should be based on your handedness?
Yeah.
Since you're a right-handed shooter, it should be
want it
from,
to come from the
left,
left?
to right.
Yeah, that's
it
what
should
it.
be. Oh,
Because your gun's over
Because
here.
you're able to
so you
swing
can
a little bit
see.
better that direction. This one's a little bit more counterintuitive than going that way.
really? It feels way more comfortable for me to swing from my right to my left with my gun.
Okay.
That's
That's
why I asked the
This
question.
is why I have no idea.
Which is also
I
why
don't remember.
I'm not saying my shotgun shooting skills are perfect by any means. Or I think I proved that to you guys there when we all went shooting together. But yeah, it's.
I'm not a shotgun person. So.
And that's what I've always heard. I'm curious to see what Shelby would say if we asked her that
Yeah,
question.
we need to
because
ask
maybe
her.
I'm under the wrong impression. But
And you
from everything that I've understood, when you're doing shooting with motion, it's easier to go this way than it is to go
towards
that
your
way.
gun, not
Yeah,
away
towards
from your gun.
towards your
handedness.
shooting shoulder. Yep.
Interesting. So yeah, just a difference in opinion, or more you practice on in that. So
I have no
Maybe,
idea.
and it could be wrong because like you have peripheral vision on your other side, so maybe you want to go more towards your peripheral vision. But I've never.
Yeah, but I feel like for me, I think like when I think of like going this way, it makes sense because I don't have anything going on this right side. So if it's coming out of the left, I can see it. I don't know.
Yep.
very good.
No idea.
So you prefer the other way?
Yes, I'm backwards.
What's yours? You prefer
I prefer what?
towards your.
I prefer yes. From if I'm a right-handed shooter, from left to
To
right.
right. Yeah.
Good.
All right,
One
last
left.
one.
And that is lucky number 7. Oh, would you rather hunt teal or the snow goose conservation season? Mine will be teal.
The snow goose conservation season's later.
Or conservation order. So that's in February or
Yeah.
February, March time
And
frame. All snow goose only. And so for that, you also have you can remove the limitations of the plug. You can use electronic calls. Your limit's practically unlimited.
And teal is
Teal is that first week of September typically.
till.
So 9 days.
Oh, it's
It's
short.
It's a
only
9-day
9 days.
season.
I got
That's in
you.
September. You have your limit of smaller limit teal. You have to follow all the rules for any waterfowl hunting. No plug shotgun and
Right.
no
So
electronic calls.
what was your answer?
Teal season.
Teal season? I'd probably go with snow goose. You're probably more likely to get something out of that. Because teal, I think sometimes it most of the time it tries to fall within that migration, but I think sometimes it doesn't quite sync
Right.
up, and you may or may not see something when you go out.
I think I'm going to go with teal, only because I've heard Hershey talk about how many like decoys and stuff you need for snow goose because they're in such large like flocks that to get them to think that there's another group of them, you almost have to have a large amount of decoys, and the calling also has to sound like a lot of birds too, which I guess that's maybe where the electronic
Yep.
calls come in, but
So yeah, you typically see on a small setup 100 decoys
Yeah.
out there, which could be just socks and other things. But then
and I'm just
when I
imagining
say
that
socks,
in
I'm
my
talking
garage.
about the actual.
And
Well,
The
okay,
windblown
that's probably good
socks.
because the visual I had in my head was
Yes.
totally different.
dirty
Sock
socks.
Yep, I'm just laying out my dirty laundry on the blind. Setting up. No, you have kind of
Maybe
the
it's
wind
clean.
socks. The wind
Maybe
socks.
you washed it and then you take it out there to dry.
Yeah. Just
There
brush
you-
off the dirt when
Yeah,
you're done.
yeah, yeah. Then you can claim you're doing laundry, but you're also hunting. See, run that past your wife and
Yes,
see if that.
I will try that. And as long as you take the kids, I'm sure you go have
yeah,
fun.
there you go.
But no, the thought for me is snow goose is usually the end of the season, kind of the final things to do because there's not much going on. You got spring turkey there, kind of the wrap up before you hit your summer off season. So that's kind of the end of it. Whereas to me, from my earlier podcast where I was talking about the official start of seasons, usually that beginning of September, and so that's usually one of the first things to get out there. So you've been waiting for a few months, like finally we can go out and hunt. So I think it's that anticipation's been building up to get out there. Whereas I don't want to say I'm burned out, but kind of ready for something new by the end of hunting season.
Just another thing to do, and then it requires a lot of work there at the end. Got it. Makes sense.
And lots of garage space from the sound of it. Like I'm just trying to imagine where I would store 100 decoys.
And I've seen setups with thousands
That's
in
crazy.
there. Well, they
Do they just like
have
Do
a
they
trailer.
leave them out?
Yeah, I was
They have
saying,
a
do you just have
trailer.
a trailer that's just full of decoys?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So if you go search for like snow goose decoys on like Facebook Marketplace or somewhere, you'll see a lot of trailer setups.
They sell them by the trailer load.
Yeah, like people are getting out of it, and so they'll sell a
wild.
whole trailer load, or they'll sell
my
here. I got
gosh.
50 decoys to sell. So
Wow. All right.
yeah, so it's interesting to see how those go. But then also usually there are large groups who are hunting it too. Usually when I see those larger setups, you're talking about 10 people hunting in that group. Not always, but
Sometimes.
you see more, and then you got your outfitters and stuff too.
Do
who
you
have
wear white when you hunt them too?
if it's snow on the ground?
See, and I can't keep white clean, so that would be another.
Well, you
Point
know
against the
the
snow
lovely outfits you wear for lead cleanup.
I was gonna say,
and
I think you
take
just
all that.
Tyvek over it.
All you do is
Tyvek.
just you just we joked.
That'd be nice and toasty then,
Mm-hmm.
because you get warm wearing those things.
Yeah,
let
they
me
have
tell you.
no ventilation, no breathability
Yeah.
at all.
So yeah, when we got our protective gear for law enforcement during COVID, it was the full white suit, and a couple of them maybe joked that might be used for a snow goose hunt later on in the year, or even an
Yeah.
antelope hunt in the snow.
There you go.
Stay
Yeah.
covered. But yeah,
I just recommend if you're gonna wear those, get the ones without the booties attached, because otherwise you're gonna be slipping all over the ground.
good advice.
Hey, I don't want people out there falling on their butts. It's no fun.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to us here talk about a bunch of different scenarios and some blind talk here of what to do in the blind and how we pass time through it. Make sure to comment if you agree or disagree with any of our answers. As I mentioned, no answers are wrong, but Obviously, some answers might be better than others to certain people.
Or if you want to start a fight with your family, apparently, listen
Yeah.
to Megan's advice.
Yeah. Let us know who the favorite sibling is.
And make sure to tag your other siblings in that so they know who the
And your
favorite
mom,
is.
because your mom has to tell us if you're on or not.
Oh my god.
You're correct.
And we'll let Megan monitor the
Yes.
Facebook or the YouTube feed on this, and maybe we'll add that to a reel for the Facebook channel.
Hey, you know what? We don't get a lot of comments, so I'm telling you guys, I want to know, and then I get to say that I started all the comments because of this
There we go.
controversial topic. So
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to end it there. Thank you so much for listening in. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment below, raise
Yes.
that controversy up to make Megan happy. And remember, we'll see you outdoors.
Hunt Nebraska, brought to you by your Nebraska Game and Parks Commission.